This is David Dingenda here, for the press conference for the Jospeh Parker Fabio Wardley fight. I am here with the one and only Raven Chapman, looking absolutely fabulous.
Thank you.
First of all, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. It's like you say, it's great to be here. Really looking forward to the fight this weekend. I think it's going to be a really good one, to be fair, and hopefully, for me, Parker's one of the guys in boxing that I love to watch. I think he's a really nice guy and stuff, so I'm sort of rooting for Parker.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking straight on the fight, really, because obviously the fight is coming up this Saturday. Obviously, Parker and Wardley gonna do battle at the O2 Arena. As it says here in the title, all or nothing, really. All or nothing for these both fighters, really. When you look at the both fighters, right, how much of a risk is this fight for the two fighters?
I think for Fabio, it's everything to gain, win or lose, really. He can still build himself back up if he comes off a loss from it. He's going up against Joe, who, like they said in the presser, is ranked number 2 by Ring magazine, behind Usyk. But for Joe, he does need to win this fight to be able to get that world title fight, which I believe he really deserves. He's done everything he needs to do to get it. Fair play to him for wanting to still get in the ring, fight these contenders when he's in that pole position. And yeah, I think he, with his boxing skill, you see how much he has improved since the Joe Joyce fight, even like training with Andy Lee, with Tyson, and yeah, I just got a lot of belief in him. Looks very confident. He's been boxing beautifully. He's been winning fights against other really well-known heavy-hitting heavyweights and come out on top, and hopefully that's what he does on Saturday night as well.
Absolutely. And where do you think this fight can be won or lost? Because obviously you look at two completely different fights. Obviously Parker is more the boxer, he's very technical, whereas Fabio Wardley is seen now as a knockout artist. So where do you think this fight can be won or lost, and how do you think each fighter should approach this fight?
Yeah, I think it's just more so like ring IQ and fitness. Joe's got to stay alert, moving, never sort of settling, letting Wardley be able to set him up for those big shots. So he's got to be on his toes, literally. And again, then for Wardley, it'll be about patience. He's probably going to get outboxed. I feel like Joe Parker is a phenomenal boxer. Wardley, like he said, he can box, but I just don't think he's got that experience or skill set that Joe Parker has, but he has got one hell of a shot on him. So Joe just has to be making sure he's moving, and that's why I think fitness could be part of that, because for the big guys, moving like that for 12 rounds takes a lot of your energy. So yeah, I feel like it'll be maybe towards the later rounds where it could get a bit more dangerous for Joe. But like I say, I see that confidence, that belief in him. He's always very fit, and even if he goes down, he's always come back up and shown what he can do. So yeah, that's how I think either side of it can look at it on Saturday.
Absolutely, and obviously we can't wait to see what happens this Saturday, but we want to talk a bit more about you as well. Obviously you're not on this fight card, which is a shame, but tell us a bit more about yourself and how you've been keeping up recently, and is there sort of any fights sort of coming up for yourself personally?
Yeah, I've just had a little bit of time to myself. Life takes over and everything like that, so just taking a step back and just being me, like finding myself again a little bit, and just enjoying the sport again, enjoying training, getting back to fully fit, and hopefully I'll be out either before the end of the year or early next year.
And for you personally, throughout this time away from the sport, obviously a lot of fighters, they're coming back, some of them coming back from wins, some of them coming back from defeats, some of them haven't fought in a while. How do you as a fighter keep yourself, disciplined and in shape, so that when an opportunity sort of comes, that you're sort of ready for it?
I'm kind of always in the gym, and sometimes that's at a detriment because you don't give yourself that time to rest and recover. So that's something I've done over sort of the summer. I've rest and recovered. I've been able to throw myself into other things that I've wanted to, but I never let that fitness slide. That fitness is always there. I'm still always in the gym. Maybe it's not quite as intense or as physical. but I'm always pretty fit. But yeah, when the time comes and it's I can get back into it, I'm on and I'm in and I'm locked in, and that's all I zone in on. So yeah, it's getting back to that time, and that's exactly where I want to be now. You know, it's remembering how much I enjoy this. I enjoy this as a career. It's such a great lifestyle to have, like being able to do the thing that I love doing day in, day out. And yeah, it feels like a blessing, and that's why I need to get myself back in there and just keep doing it and do what I love doing.
And what is it you sort of learn about yourself in particular? Is there sort of other things that you sort of tapped into as well whilst you've been away?
Yeah, just, you know, being able to separate yourself from the boxer as well. You know, I've got loads of other interests and hobbies that I like to do, where sometimes boxing takes over and means I can't do that. So it's just finding that balance a little bit. Obviously, I don't want anything to take away from boxing, but I still want to be able to enjoy myself, and that's where everyone's been joking in summer, like I'm just collecting hobbies, because I've just been doing all the things that I've kind of wanted to do, and just yeah, being able to do it alongside a bit of boxing training as well. Maybe some things maybe not so intense now I'm back in the gym, but yeah, it's been good fun, and I want to try and keep up other stuff. Like I like to push myself in other things as well. Like I push myself a lot in boxing, and there's certain levels I want to get at other things. And improve, so I also need to dedicate some time to that without letting anything else slide. But I think it's just good for the psyche. It's good to not have one thing, and you need a bit of variety in life. You know, they say variety is the spice of life, so I enjoy doing a bit of those little hobbies that, you know, I'm not a professional at, and I maybe never will be a professional at, but I just enjoy doing it in my downtime.
Absolutely. And you're going to be there on the fight on Saturday?
Yeah, I think I'll be there.
And if you were to be there on Saturday, what is it like actually watching a boxing event from a boxing point of view, as a boxer point of view, in comparison to, let's say, for us as like fight fans or journalists, really?
Usually when you're there, it's kind of, you get that itchy knuckles, as they all call it. You want to be there, you know, you want to be the one getting in the ring. You soak up that atmosphere, and obviously as a fighter, you get that having been in the ring, and when you've been away for a while, you get there and you're like, okay, yeah, I wanna be in the next show. So that's exactly what I think will happen on Saturday night, and give me even a bit more of a fire and tenacity ready to go for when I do box again.
And obviously, last question for me, really, a lot of boxing fans would probably want me to ask you, really, who would you like to sort of fight next? Like, if you're scheduled to come back at the end of the year, do you have any sort of specific boxers or targets that you're sort of looking at towards the end of this year and coming into next year as well?
Next, you know, I've got like some plans, some ideas of who I can box and stuff like that. Obviously, I've got a couple of wrongs to right, so I'd like to get that as well down the line, but at the minute just want to get back in there.
Absolutely. And any sort of message to your fans who've been missing you a bit in the ring? Any message to them?
Yeah, just thanks for that constant support. You know, that belief in me is what keeps me going, and you know, I can only say the last couple of fights hasn't been, you know, the true me, and but she's back, and she's ready to get back in there and just remind everyone what I am about.